Hello traders, welcome to this live webinar. Thank you for joining. We are taking a look at the November performance, of course, on this 1st of December with some updates on the EAs that are to be found at Elite Currency, including ZUSIA, London Open Advanced, LOA EA, and of course Russia and Ultimate EA from Mislav Nikolic. My name is Chris Forster from Elite Currency, and we'll also dive into some of the updates we could expect in this last month of 2020 before we head off to again a new year. All right, so that's going to be the schedule for today. Of course, feel free to reach out and ask a question through the live chat. That if you're joining live, of course, if you're looking at the recording, you can also send us an email. We have before we start a update here on Black Friday discounts. They are still available today, and tomorrow is the last day, so not much time remaining. But if you still wanted to grab some discount, anywhere between 25 and 40%, then you still have the chance to do that. All right, so that's Black Friday discounts still available today and tomorrow. All right. And if you need the link for that, let's find that here. That's elitecurrency.com/BF20. You see 1.5 days left, and you can choose manual systems with Black Widow from Nenet, or by SWAT, or ECS Live for a year, or automated systems. These are rentals, Russia and Ultimate EA together, or Russia is REA, or UEA is Ultimate EA, or the Zeus EA, or the LOA EA. All of that discounted. All right. Now, with regard to the November performance, first of all, that of course closed yesterday. Let's start with Zeus EA. Let's see. We have a PAM account and our own account. Let's take a look at those. First of all, our own account is up 38% at the moment, started end of June, so we're looking at 5 months of trading in the meantime, I believe. Every month quite consistent. Last month 6.5%, decent gain as you can see here, and stable equity curve, and drawdowns have been minor as you can see, below the 3% throughout those 5 months. So very small drawdown here. I don't know. It says 25% here. Not sure why. I don't know if my FX book well enough to explain the difference. But in any case, even 25% is actually perfectly fine. But it could be lower. According to this graph, it's much lower. So I'm not sure in which way that works out. But both are very low. 2% is very low. 25% is acceptable as well. Yeah, and what else to say? Let's take a look at some of these stats. Profit factor 1.47, win rate about 70%, as you can see. Average trading length about 10 hours, so it's quite short trading. No lengthy trades, as you can see here. We can take a look at the duration if you want. Some minor trades stay open for a longer period of time, but never more than 4 days, as you can see here being the max. Most trades being closed within a day, just some outliers that take 2 to 4 days, but that's a minority, as you can see. Risk of ruin, very low, as you can see. The probability of losing 20% at this moment, a tenth, 1/10 of a percent only, 4.5% chance of losing 10%. Pretty much regular distribution here of the daily, hourly, more London Open and New York trades, but every hour has some. That's the beauty, of course, of automated trading, is that there's no rest hours needed, so that's good. And only trading the euro dollar, as you can see. All right. That's it. Pretty consistent gains, as you can see here. That's our own account at the beginning of June. Now, we also started a profit share model. So there are two ways of trading ZUSIA. One is joining the profit share model, a managed account with our partner broker Key2 Markets, or KTM, and it's a PAM. And basically, it's for free in the sense that you only pay when there's a profit share at the end of the month, right? If there's a profit at the end of the month, you share a part of that with us, okay? So, but if there's no profit, there's no cost. Or you can rent it, then there's an immediate cost, but you don't have any profit share, right? So you save later on. So both have their pros and cons. There's no right or wrong here. Also, a decent November, the best month actually so far with the profit share model, 7%, 7.1 almost. Great stuff there. Very nice November month there. And otherwise, the stats are pretty much the same as our account. As you can see, profit factor a little bit higher, I believe. It's a bit shorter trading period, but drawdown slightly higher here, reaching 7.5 at one point. But this drawdown is lower. So anyhow, you can see quite consistent no matter how we look at it. Yeah, so great stuff. Good good performance here with both accounts. Now, I should add that I don't remember. Maybe in the past I did say that grabbing some profit. I think I don't remember exactly, but we recommend grabbing profit when you have the rental, so that you cover your rental costs. With the profit share model, it depends on your risk appetite, right? So if, let's say, trader A has risk capital that he or she can afford to lose 10,000 euros. Okay, that's set aside, designated for risk trading, and is a small part. Let's say is a part of the overall portfolio of that trader, right? That also trades in other things and other has savings in other things, right? So that 10,000 euros, and decides to try Zeus with 5,000. So, if in that case, there's no need to take the profit necessarily. You can keep the profit and let it accumulate because you're thinking about maybe adding more capital to it. But if you maxed out your risk and you want to make sure that you get your capital back, of course, in that case, occasionally taking some profit is good, right? So it depends on whether you take the profit or not, or you leave it and accumulate. Depends on your risk appetite, basically. If you think, well, this is relatively a small amount, and I would actually think about adding capital, there's nothing wrong with letting it accumulate, letting the profit stay on the account so that it becomes bigger and bigger, and it's a snowball effect, right? The capital grows into something larger because it's the profits on profits make it grow faster, right? Whereas if you maybe are at max risk and you feel kind of a little bit nervous about how much you're trading with the capital you're trading, then it might be wise to take some profits so that you calm your nerves a little bit, right? So that depends on your risk style, but nothing, if you feel comfortable with what you're trading, nothing wrong with letting it accumulate, basically, right? That's what we're doing as well with our accounts, as you can see with this one. It started at 2.5, and it's at the moment the balance is 3,500. We're letting it accumulate, and we're doing the same with our part of this PAM as well with the KTM PAM. All right. So just some additional info about profits and how to treat profits, and that's refreshing, of course, to talk about profits here with Susie. We can do that. That's nice. That's about it, I think. Otherwise, these stats are all pretty much the same. As you can see, even smaller percent chance here of losing 10%. So, what else? So that's ZUCA. Let me see if there are any questions. No, good. How about the other EAs? Other EAs, well, Rush EA had a good month. If I remember correctly, it should be positive, but let's double check. Yes, ended up positive 21.5%. Very nice. So as you can see, our account had a bit of a drawdown at the start, but explosive September, compensating all of that. Slight small loss there in October, and a decent gain here. Definitely a very nice gain, 21.5% in November. So happy with that. Let's see. Let's take a look a little bit at the stats here. This does not look that exciting, maybe this PAM, and I understand that because it's a lot of sideways. That said, Mislav's results have been better. So some of you have asked why, and well, the main difference is just that Mislav had signals that, yeah, basically different types of signals. So his account was doing better in the same EA, but a little bit of a difference there in some cases with the setups. So instead, we're going to copy his signals. So since mid-November already, I think, or they'll be exactly the same according to his account. So there's no difference. So we should see the same results from now on. Okay. So hopefully this is from a technical point of view, hopefully this is an ascending wedge, triple top with lower highs, right? Lower high here. So I hope that it's going to break through this 30% resistance, and if we look at it from a chart point of view, and break through to the upside. But yeah, I think that mainly the slow start also was a bit. Sometimes it takes time before you get out of that slower start and move into profitable direction. So in any case, I'm happy with November. Remember, one joining recently should be up a little bit as well. And this should start to look better and better. Well, in any case, it should start to look exactly the same or very similar to Misaf's account. There should not be any difference there. Let's take a look at some of the other things that we can find. Win percentage so far seems to be about 50% if we average these two numbers. Duration, it's also, as you can see, much shorter than Ultimate EA, right? Most of the trades within a day. Majority of the dots are on the left side. Some trades 1 to 3 days, nothing more than 3 days though, or almost 4 days. Risk of ruin a little bit higher, as you can see here, than Zeus, but all in all, still quite a small chance to get into the 50% zone. Very even daily. Hour is also spread, only trading euro dollar. Yeah, so that's a good November, 21%. Let's take a look at Mislav's account as well. Yeah, and if you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out. All right, this is started in mid-August, as you can see, up 109%, peak at 134, and 52%. October was slightly positive. September was also very good. And 54. So yeah, slightly higher, decently higher numbers here indeed. So that's why we actually did the copying now, so that the results look the same and are same or similar to each other. So that's the main reason. So yeah, also a very good result on November with Russia. So two positive EAs basically in November. The two negative EAs were LOA EA and Ultimate EA. Well, LOA EA I should maybe split in two because the B2C version actually was profitable. As you can see, we started trading B2C. October was +4. November ended up with plus 1.31. So the B2C USD actually did make a profit. So LOA is 50-50, I guess. and is having a decent start, as you can see here, in an uptrend. Small drawdown, up 5%. All right, after about 6 weeks, 7 weeks of trading, not bad. That said, the LOA EA with the Euro odd is down, and it had a pretty negative month. As you can see here, October was only down. Sorry, excuse me, November was only down minus 13%. So that was quite, a relatively bigger size loss for LOA. LOA normally doesn't have that, has smaller losses. This is one of the larger losses we've seen in backtesting and live trading. So that was the Euro odd had a bad month, and let's take a look at the drawdown here. As you can see, drawdown expanding, steep drawdown here, hitting 20%. Still not that bad though, 20%, but yeah, is in a drawdown as we speak. And then we have the ultimate. So yeah, LOAEA off to here a negative point. But I should add one thing about the LOAEA is that this is an EA that is going to take its time. It is even 13%, although it's kind of on the higher side, is for Forex terms not catastrophic. I think anything that stays within a 30% level is very normal within Forex. So it's off to a kind of a downbeat start, but nothing really major to worry about in my view. And considering the years it needs to kind of show its year or two maybe to show its potential, these few months really don't mean much, right? So in my view at least. Specifically, the CA has been tested for 10 years and back tested, and you see in those 10 years that there are kind of slower periods, weaker periods, but in those 10 years, it has recovered. So let's see if that happens again. And then ultimately, let's take a look at the profit share account. Was off to a week, actually had a very good end of September here, right? September, beginning of October, as you can see, because it was also plus 18% September. But then, yeah, unfortunately, one second, folks, let me close. Yeah, unfortunately, at beginning of October went into a drawdown. We will see that here too. Beginning of October, you see, beginning of October the drawdown was very low. There was no drawdown there, and beginning of October the drawdown started, moving up steadily, and continued in November. We had some slight retracement here in November, but then continued in the rest of November. But luckily, we had some nice profitable wins right at the very end, the last day, I think. So ultimately, the loss ended up on minus 17 after those wins. So now we're looking at a couple of months where definitely a weaker period. I think that's really official now. 4 out of 5 months were losing months. And if you add up everything, if you just count those numbers, looks like about 28% loss if you count all these months. 30%, something like that. Now, for those that started in April, there was some profit at the beginning, so you might be down 10%, you might be break even, depending a bit where you started. Others who started at unlucky moments like beginning of June, beginning October, end of June, even mid-September or mid-May, are down more and could be down anything between 20 and 30% at this moment. So now there's a reason why Mislav is always emphasizing the long-term vision of at least 6 to 12 months. So we're reaching 6 months now. So I can imagine that some of you are saying like, okay, wait, we're 6 months. You're always talking about 6 to 12 months, right? Yeah, but it's at least 6 months. It could be even 12 months. This is a long-term EA. And, of course, first of all, Forex trading is always risky. I repeat that 500 times per webinar, but that's one thing. Second of all, is that if the performance does continue, the positive performance we've seen in the last few years at least, then it doesn't have to be every month. It doesn't have to be every quarter, but we do expect that performance to be visible, let's say, within 6 to 12 months, right? So now we're at the bottom end of that range, 6 months. So yeah, it's a lot of patience is needed, and that can be frustrating, and we understand that. So let's hope that that somewhere in the next 6 months we'll see a push up again, like we had on the account before in the beginning of 2020. Let me show you. As you can see here, 217%. Here, 85%. And all in all, let's not forget, of course, that the account is up, my account at least, from the start of August. Now, basically, I guess 1 month, 1 year and 3 months now, is up 500, more than 500%. So, yes, there has been a drawdown. Yes, the peak was about 1,000%, but still 500% is not nothing. So let's see. It's uh, it's still a crazy amount in that regard. So hopefully though there will be another push up soon. And I think that when we look at the trend, what we need is a trend. I think or some decent, not a spike, not something impulsive like in March. That was too crazy, but just a decent kind of push in one direction rather than something very choppy. I think that could happen soon with the elections behind us. Maybe COVID stabilizing a little bit, perhaps. Let's see. Those would be positive factors in my view. That's let's see. Ilya saying 40%. Are you a profit share member, Ilya, or a renter? If you're a profit share member, I guess it's yeah, it must. Let's see. I don't know. When did you start? Maybe if you started somewhere, as I said, if you started beginning of June, beginning of June, I can imagine maybe it's 18% doesn't. I just added these numbers. Well, it doesn't work like that, of course, because this 18%. If you lost 22%, you recover 18. It doesn't. You're not down 4%. You're down more because you have less capital at that moment. So it could be. Seems quite a lot, but I guess it's possible. Profit share member. Okay, and when did you start? Just out of curiosity. Because I know that people who started in the beginning of April, they I think are down maybe about 10%. But yeah, if as I said, if you started at these peaks, mid-May, beginning June, mid-June, mid-August, mid-September, beginning October, then it can be more. It's difficult for me to estimate how much exactly. Yeah, and that could be frustrating. I understand that. This is definitely not an EA that delivers a certain percentage every month, as you can see, right? This is really an EA that is aiming for account building. So, at this moment, last few months, last 6 months, we didn't have any account building, unfortunately. But what I mean with account building is that there's going to be big spikes, consolidation, 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 big spike, consolidation, 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 big spike, and that does allow it to when you get these spikes, your account can grow really a lot though, as we've seen in live trading and backtesting. But the consolidations can be very yeah, it can be require your patience. And yeah, June, you see, worst time ever, of course, all time high. And I'm not surprised in that case if you started at the beginning of June that could still be in such a drawdown. And I had the same with Russia in the sense that I started also at a drawdown, and it can take time, even if there's profits after that, which in Russia there were actually profits right after that, and even then it still took me time to get into profitable territory. Let alone if there's not one but two big drawdowns here and here, so it's frustrating. That said, if you look at my account, I had something similar. Well, here I had first profits though, but this really took long too. Take a look at the drawdown here. I was also last year in a 50% loss, beginning of December 2019, as you can see. So that was tough for me too. I had made some good profit in September. Then I added capital, much more capital than I made in this first push up. So this first push up was nice, but I traded it with smaller capital. Then I added much more capital, and then I saw it going to drawdown. And 50 also something, as you can see, 50 more than 50 52% here was tough for me. So I know what you're going through. And then I was fortunate enough to be January, February, March to see this profit, a couple of profit spikes here, 1, 2, and then 3. With a decent part of my capital, I closed profits somewhere here on this rise up and let the rest run. So yeah, hopefully this consolidation is something similar to this, and this is just hopefully we'll see this kind of spike take place. June is indeed a tough starting spot. Yeah, the form. Let me check out the Google form if there are any questions there. Let's see. There should be one or there are a couple of questions. All right. So this is Joe Burns. Also started 19th of June, and yeah, that's very difficult starting moments indeed. And one of the advantages sometimes to not add all the capital maybe right away to Ultimate EA, but maybe add a part, and then if you have a drawdown, add the other part. For instance, it's a little bit more. It takes a little bit more effort, but sometimes can be worth that. And is asking what to expect the next 6 months. So yeah, the drawdown now is a little bit lower because of the wins we just had. Let's take a look. Two wins, as you can see here. 108, 81 pips. Gain 6% and 9%. So 15, altogether 15, more than 15% profit there in those two. So that helped reduce the loss in November at least. Wait, that's my account. Let's see, different pip targets here somehow, but anyhow, the gain is about 15% indeed. So I help reduce that. So the drawdown is a little bit less at this moment. And it was at 54 and was getting close to 60. So indeed, but now it's lower. It's below 50. It's about 40, 46 at the moment. And the loss is now it's ended up at minus 17, not minus 30 or so, I guess it was. I'm not sure how much it was before, but was probably about minus 30, I guess, plus minus. So yeah, that helped ease kind of the tension about the drawdown going over 60%. If the drawdown ever were to go over 60%, we were going to reduce the risk per setup at that point, because then it's exceeding the max historical drawdown that we've seen, and then we wanted to reduce the risk by doing that. For the moment, that's not needed because of the fact that we've moved below 50, away from that 60 zone, 50, 55, 55, let's say, being the max historical. So we've moved away from that, so that's good news. Let's see, other questions. Let's see. I'm looking for a question from Claudia. Let's see. There it is. Sorry. Good. Yeah, the profit share. Yeah, the Black Friday deals are only for the rentals, indeed, not for the profit shares at this moment. Correct. Correct, indeed. Yeah, it was. With LOAEA, we don't have a profit share, and with Ultimate A in the drawdown, it didn't make probably that much sense. I mean, we are happy that the traders stick to it. Asking them to add capital seemed a little bit too much from our point of view. But we do have that special offer still in place that for those that do not withdraw on Ultimate EA, that was already, I think, mentioned a month ago. With the next profitable month, then you will pay 10% less profit share if you don't withdraw capital. So that's an incentive and a reward for those that are patiently waiting with this drawdown. Okay, so yeah, once again, diversification is key. Um, Nothing wrong with first of all, of course, diversification in trading and investments. So only trade and risk, of course, with capital you can afford to lose. And with that savings you have, of course, diversify in different assets. One of them could be Forex, an X percentage. And within Forex, find again a diversification, of course, within automated and manual if you like, or only automated, but then choose multiple automated systems. So there's the risk is diversified, and you find a balance. I think that's always the best. Now at the moment we have Rush and Ultimate EA from Mislav, LOA EA, EuroOdd and LOA EA Bitcoin, and we have Zusier, and more EAs are coming. We'll have Let's Dance EA probably offer, able to offer soon, and hopefully my EA as well, and Nenet's EA. So hopefully more EAs are coming around the corner. So the more diversification, the better, of course. If you're only trading Ultimate EA, up to you. But I think that it makes sense to find some diversification in Rush EA, Zeus EA, and LOA EA. So yeah, that's it. November basically had profitable month for Rush EA, for Zeus EA, for LOA EA Bitcoin, and negative months for Ultima and LOA EuroOdd, basically. Okay. Regarding December, well, nothing much new. December, we'll be just trading the EAs that we have now. We'll be working on our new EAs, of course, hard, and we're going to try to work on easier ways for traders to work to create a portfolio. So that's something that we would like, that it's easier. So that's one of our goals that we're working on. And the EAs themselves, of course. These are big projects, of course. It's not going to be finished in a few weeks, but yeah, that's our next kind of big goal we have in mind to complete. Anything else? Let me think here for a second. Hang on, folks. Yeah, I'm working on a guide, one more guide with patterns and technical analysis. That's coming up soon, next week's as well. But yeah, I think the main those are small things. The main thing really, portfolio, more EAs, more options basically. All right. And yeah, some other exciting maybe stuff coming up in 2021, but those uh, too soon to reveal. I think we'll have to have more concrete kind of information and dates in mind before we can do that. We'll do that maybe at the end of the year. Share our plans for 2021. That's it for now, I guess. Let's hope December is even better than November and ends on a great positive note. Wish you all great trading and talk to you soon. Cheers.